Final lesson, lesson 7, identifying and using your spiritual gifts. This one we're going to define a few things, and we're going to talk about some markers that you can look for to be defining your gifts and using your gifts in a responsible way. The first thing is going to Ephesians 4:11. As we look at these lists, we understand certain words like serving, teaching, encouragement, giving, leading, showing mercy. All those things make sense, but we hit Ephesians 4:11 and we get the apostles, prophets, evangelists, shepherds, and teachers. And my past, until I don't know around what year it was, but maybe 10 years ago or so, probably less than that even, I had my mind opened up on this because I was, like I said previously, a cessationist. I didn't believe the Holy Spirit still gave these gifts. And so when I saw things like apostles, I said, yeah, we don't have those anymore. And I saw someone like a prophet, and I thought, well, we don't have prophets anymore. That's like Isaiah and these guys. But I think if you define these terms in their most literal sense, I think these roles all still exist. So an apostle, apostolos, means a sent one, someone who is sent. Apostolo is to send. And so an apostle is someone who is sent. An apostle is someone who is sent. If you look at the ministry of Jesus, at first they're disciples who are apprentice followers, and then when he sends them on the missionary journeys of Luke 9 and 10, they become apostles, sent ones. See how that shift works? So we have sent ones today. They're called missionaries. They're called ministers, evangelists, which we have that gift too. Don't throw that in right now. But these are people who are sent out from the body into the community, into the world, in order to engage people with the good news of Jesus. Then there's prophets. A prophet is someone who is in tune with God and shares what they're hearing. I've seen that happen so many times in the body, where somebody in the body had that extra spiritual antenna somehow. They just had that gift. And they would just say things, and you would be like, yeah, that's right on track. And sometimes we hear the word prophet and we think future teller, but that's very little of what a prophet ever did. Some prophets never told the future. It's just, this is what I hear God saying, and I'm telling you what I hear God say. That's what a prophet does. Sometimes God told them future-oriented things and predicted things, like predicted the coming of Christ through the prophets, but that wasn't their primary role. Their primary role was not future telling. So I think we have prophets also today. And the reason I define those two especially is because it may help you identify that gift in yourself rather than say, well, we're not witnesses of Jesus. We can't be official apostles, capital A apostle and all that. I agree. We can't be Paul or Peter today because we didn't witness the resurrected Jesus or walk with him in the same way that they did, but we can still be sent out. We can have the giftedness of that compulsion of needing to go. Some people just have that. Or to be more in tune with God and to speak, share what you're hearing. Some people just have that gift. So that may open up two of these gifts for you in a way maybe you didn't anticipate. What's the difference between an apostle and evangelist? Because an evangelist also is sharing with people who are out there, who are not part of the body. And there's a fine line between those two, really. And they actually have quite a bit of overlap, because someone who is an apostle is going to go out and kind of, in a sense, be an evangelist. They're going to share a proclamation of Jesus. I often think, this is opinion 101, of an evangelist is someone who often has that kind of personality of someone who is outgoing, someone who is others focused, and someone who is able to take down barriers, interpersonal barriers in conversation with people. They just have that evangelistic, they just have that evangelistic gift to be able to talk easily, to talk lightly, to be non-threatening, and to share in a way that just puts you at ease and gets your guard down. Now, there are things about the Jesus message that just don't put the guard down when we speak truth either. It's going to raising up some cackles on people, like make people feel anxious or uneasy. And that's a natural part of it as well. We don't hold back truth from people just to make them comfortable or don't want to make them feel uneasy. But evangelists also can be sent. Evangelists can also not be sent. They can take the people who the apostolic people bring in and evangelize them as well. So there's a little bit of overlap there. But if you feel that real compulsion to go, you feel that sent urgency, that's the more apostolic function or role. If you feel more that burden to speak and share a word of Jesus to those who don't believe, that's very much an evangelistic impulse. So So how do you identify your gifts? We say on this platform all the time, start with prayer. Pray about everything. Ask God what your gifts are. The other thing I would encourage you to do is read and reread these lists. Go over them and over them and just see what resonates with you as you do that. And you can do that here in just a moment, to read these lists out loud. And then to talk, this is the third thing, talk to the people in your gathering. Ask them what gift they see in you. Tell each other what you see. Affirm these things, because you may already have an inclination. You're like, oh, I feel like I have the apostolic drive. And then someone in the group goes, I see an apostolic function in you, gift in you. And then you're reading the scriptures. That one keeps coming back. It keeps like popping out of the page for you. Yeah, that's probably what it is. You're praying about it and it keeps getting affirmed. It's not getting denied. And the last one here, fourth, is move ahead in faithfulness and just see if it pans out. If you have an apostolic drive, go. See if it pans out. See what happens. I'm tempted to say, see what kind of fruit is produced, but you can be perfectly faithful in the apostolic role and not see any faith because any fruit, because you have no control over the other party. So the fruit is the faithfulness. Are you just going and being obedient to what God has gifted you with and called you to? I'm just going to hit pause here. You all take some time to read back over the gifts lists, and I'll give those to you. It's Romans 12, 3 through 8. It's 1 Corinthians 12, 7 through 11. This is in your handout. And it's Ephesians 4, 11 through 16. And as you read through those again, spend some time considering if there are any for you that pop off the page. And then after you've had some time to do that, spend some time discussing it together and affirming in other people the gifts that you see in them from those lists. And then I encourage you to come up with one commitment that you can do, like an I will, this week, I will such and such with the gift that God has given me, and seek to go and do that this week and see what happens. See if that gift gets affirmed, if the flame gets fanned, or if it gets more extinguished as you go. So go ahead, hit pause, and take some time to do what I've just outlined. Now, one of the things I love about all of this is it's all discipleship, because you're learning the gifts, you're using the gifts, you're helping other people use the gifts, and you're also using the gifts to reach new people. So think about making disciples with the APEST. The apostolic person and the evangelist are the tip of the spear. They're going out, they're finding new people, they're bringing people in. What do the new people find when they come into the gathering? They're finding prophetic voice, someone gifted in teaching, and someone with a shepherding spirit. So they're getting the comfort and the guidance and the love from the shepherd. They're getting biblical instruction from the gifted teacher, and to some degree also from the evangelist. So all these gifts work in concert together to be disciples who make more disciples. This is what God has put us here to do. So this is our wrap up with lesson 7. I can't believe we've gotten through all the lessons. There are more lesson series to come when you check the channel. But thank you so much for walking through all of this with me. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to put my email at the bottom of the screen. This is all part of homechurchresources.org. And I hope you visit the webpage. And we have more training. It's not just weekly videos. There's actually training on the platform to make disciples and start home churches. So take care, and thanks for being part.